Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Tony boy.
I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, I'm paranoid, bitch, I'm paranoid.
All right, dog, we're going to start the fucking show. I'm going to give you a quick little introduction. I'm not going to go too hard on the introduction because I really want you to tell the world what the fuck you're about, dog. And here we fucking go. Testicles 1, 2, testicles. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast. This is your humble host, Trebles Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best show with the best content for the best listeners. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an amazing episode. As a matter of fact, I have some fucking great topics for you guys today. And I don't have an agenda. I don't have a blueprint. I have a very special guest that's here for the very first fucking time. Shout outs to Chef from Sunday Night Secret Society's podcast, now also known as a new edition of K4V3 podcast. Shout outs to all my boys out there, and shout outs for connecting us. Now, do not forget that Paranoid Radio Podcast is also on paranoidradio.com. You can stream for free the most recent 5 episodes, and you could watch the most recent video episode absolutely free while in construction. Do not forget to drop 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. It allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Now, allow me to jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the fucking mood. Please give a warm welcome to Paranoid Radio's very first paranormal investigator, animal Reiki healer, overall seeker of truth and knowledge, and podcast host himself, the exceptional Shawn from the big Grimmbowski podcast show. Welcome, brother. How's it going, dog?
Hey, man, what's going on, dude? It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for fucking spending the time and donating your fucking talent and your knowledge. Now, before anything, I want you to tell the world where they can find you and how the fuck did you get into the podcast world? What motivated you? Introduce yourself, bro.
Okay, so you can find me at the Big Grimmbowski podcast. There's a link tree that will link you to all the different, all the different stuff that I got going on. You can find me on Spotify, Amazon Amazon Podcasts, Audible, iHeartRadio, all the different places. It's on there. Spreaker's the host, so all the places that they got, it's on there. Spotify is usually like the best one. That's the one most, just because I like Spotify. It is what it is.
Word. You know what? I do recommend you jump on dropping the RSS feed on Apple Podcasts. Make a fucking an account and drop the RSS feed there, because there is a lot of people that are listening. Most of the majority, and I'm just talking about my common sense, right? Like what I have to give. If I have to tell you anything, Apple Podcasts owns up to 65% of my fucking audience, bro. And I don't know how. And the reviews there are the ones that most of the people watch and see and reflect off, like listen notes and all that stuff. So if you got to do something, do it now on Apple Podcasts. Take advantage of every single fucking platform, dog. You got to, dog. Every single thing. You got to use it. It's a tool.
See, that's the only one I haven't been able to do because for whatever reason, I can't get it hooked up right. And I can't figure, I don't know. I just can't figure it out. So I might have to, pick your brain on how I get that all with the RSS feed.
We could do that on post production of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check them out. Shawn, am I pronouncing your word right? Your name right? Shawn, right?
Yep.
It's Shawn from the big Grimmbowski podcast on every single platform except from Apple Podcasts. And in case you want to find them, you can also find them on paranoidradio.com under the link tree, under the link of special guests and links. Ladies and gentlemen, the link to his show will also be on the description of this show. Now, today, you're not only here to impact us with a personal story of yours, but you have the great fucking honor of being my very first paranormal investigator, dude. When did you start this fucking this path of paranormal investigating? Tell us a little bit about that, and then proceed with telling us your biggest fucking paranormal story. This is, I'll be honest with you, sorry to interrupt you again, and I'm just gonna say this. Like, we revolve around a lot of fucking bullshit, a lot of fucking conspiracy topics. I go off the dome when it comes to fucking MAGA shit. But I also love and I'm intrigued into personal stories. I myself, and the listeners know this, I've said it a couple fucking 100 times. I myself saw a fucking elf when I was 22 years old. at my mom's house and I wasn't high and I wasn't drunk and I wasn't using cocaine and cocaine accessories. I was fucking sober and I seen a fucking elf. And this is fucking true. Now, I believe every single thing when people tell me that they had fucking paranormal experiences, that they had they had been paranormally activated, that they got fucked by a fucking ghost, all that good shit. So, dog, go ahead and share with me, dude. I'll just start your path, bro.
Dude, okay. So like if I really, the very first time I had any type of paranormal encounter when I was a real little kid. I want to say maybe like 5 years old, maybe. I remember going on a walk with my mom and my grandma, and we it started getting kind of late in the evening, so it's like we need to get back home. So the quickest way was to cut through the graveyard instead of going around the entire cemetery.
Here we go. Here we fucking go.
So,
all right, leading off with the graveyard already.
Right. So we're walking, and I remember I'm kind of looking over at this tombstone, and I see something that catches my eye. So I start to see, I'm focusing, trying to see what's going on, and it's like it's an arm or something that's kind of sticking out, but it's like it's holding something, and almost like very long, very almost like a stick, and it's just like sitting there, just kind of waving it back and forth. And then I wouldn't see it, and then I would look back again, and then there would be again, and it kept doing it, it kept doing it, kept doing it.
Okay.
Dude, weirdest thing. So like it freaked me out. I tried to say something to my mom and my grandma. They're just like, oh, you're fine, you're seeing things. Brushed it off. Whatever. Okay, so we go on. And I know that if I sit there and I probably think about it, and this is how it's been since I've started podcasting, and I started kind of like telling like these different like little encounters that I had.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of I start remembering other things, and I'm wait, hold up. What about this situation that happened when I was this age? What about this time when I was this age? And then all of a sudden these little things start recalling them. So another thing was when I was 16, I had my bedroom up in the attic of the house.
Okay.
I was an only child. I wanted to have a bigger space, and I just wanted to be away from everybody else. So the attic was, it, because it was
any
like,
teenager,
it was
man.
huge.
Any teenage boy trying to bust the we all know what was like every fucking teenage
right,
boy,
exactly. Yeah, dude. So I had upstairs a stereo that my dad had gotten from a buddy over. Okay, so like over there, he was able to pick up this stereo system that over here in the States at that time frame would have been about $3,000. This guy picked it up for $800 over there in the markets, and then had it shipped back via, just postal, and the shipping was, nothing. It was no big deal. So my dad was just like, yeah, dude, I want that. Send it over to me. How much do you want me to send you? And so that's what they did. And so he had this thing, and I mean, it had these two big speakers filled with different like tweeters, and one of them had a 20-inch subwoofer on it, and then the other one had, I think, maybe a 21, maybe 22-inch subwoofer on it.
Oh shit!
So I mean, dude, these things pound. We're
talking about a DJ set, right? Okay. Yeah.
It was like one of those like old school stereos that had like the different switch knobs that went up and down, really clicky sound to them. Yeah. Like the turn knob for like the radio, and it had like the push buttons. So like if you wanted to switch between like auxiliary and FM, like there was like a little push button, and like they would pop the the one that was already pushed in, and then on top of it, it had the
some 1990s
record
shit.
player.
Yeah.
No, dude, even further.
Shit.
Than that. Like, dude, like I said, man, it was like during Vietnam. So like when was Vietnam? Yeah. Yeah,
shit.
dude. When was Vietnam? So like what was that, like the 70s or something? 60s?
Yeah, late 60s.
Yeah. So so like exactly. So this thing had lasted like this long for me to now be a teenager. And like he didn't use it or anything, but I was smart enough that I figured out a way to wire that to my Walkman CD player. you know, just like the anti-skip Walkmans.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was able to figure out
Yeah.
how to connect that thing. So, dude, I was jamming out Linkin Park and stuff,
Yeah.
Korn,
Okay.
all these bands on this stuff, and I'm just like getting Eminem's one. What was that one really big album that came out that had the Real Slim Shady on it? That
Yeah.
album, I think it was that one that came out and stuff. So I was like, you know, when no one was home, like I was secretly banging that thing as loud as possible and stuff. So and I see somebody standing at the foot of my bed. At this time, I'm thinking that it was my dad, and he
Wait,
was
so
thinking
we're
that
having
maybe
you cut out in certain areas where
what
you're
was that?
saying you're cutting out in certain little moments. You said that you were banging the shit out of that loud when nobody was home, and then you cut out completely. What is it that you followed up with?
Okay, so one night I end up waking up. It was probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, and there was a person standing at the foot of my bed,
Mhm.
looking down at the stereo. So I at first thought it was my dad, kind of very similar build. He would usually wear white t-shirts. This man was wearing a white
Mhm.
t-shirt. The man had a beard. My dad had a beard.
Mhm.
You know, so it's all these different things, and I just thought it was him. And I was like, "What are you
Mhm.
doing?" And I didn't get a response. The man turns, looks at me, and then starts to reach a hand towards me.
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
And
Okay.
so, like I said,
Mm.
I'm not like freaked out or anything because I'm thinking that it's my dad.
Uh,
And then once I start seeing that, I was like, "Would you knock it off?" Through my arm. I don't hit anything. Obviously, I don't hit anything. So like I'm kind of like freaking out at this point because I'm just like, hold up a second.
okay, so at that moment, you fucking so you hit it goes through it in that split second. That fucking heat rushes through your head, and you're like, "Holy fuck!" Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm just
Uh-huh.
like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hop up really quick and I look, and there is no one there. Absolutely no. So I'm just like, what? I grabbed the blanket. I threw the blanket over the head. I
Uh,
went back to sleep. I
yeah.
was like, nope, not tonight, not tonight. You can, we can address this
Get the fuck
in the
out. You
morning. Like,
still slept
I
in the
went back
same
to bed,
bed? I could do that shit.
dude.
Oh,
So the next morning, right?
uh,
I come downstairs. I'm telling my parents. I was like, hey, this is what happened. And my mom's freaking out. She's thinking, oh, we've had a break in. Somebody was trying to steal the stereo and all this stuff. And my dad's just like, hold on a second. Let's think about this for a second. You mean to tell me that somebody broke in from the side door, went all the way through the kitchen, went all the way through the living room, then went up a very creaky flight of stairs, across the whole entire attic to the stereo, and then in a matter of 5 to 10 seconds, they were able to run across the room, back down the stairs, and then out the house. Oh, plus make it past the dog. And she's like, "Well, hold on, yeah, you're right, you're right. That wouldn't make any sense." And he's like, "Okay,
uh-huh.
so
Which then only makes you look like either you're fucking lying or you're fucking high. Right. I mean, shit. How do you
hey,
explain that?
let's what did you explain? What did you see? Tell me what you saw." And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Okay." So I started explaining to him, what I was seeing, what the man looked like, this and that. And I can just see it, like he's got his elbow on the table and he's just like, hand over his mouth. He just said, and I can just see like his eyes are just like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you never met JR, did you? And I was like, your old roommate that died? And I was like, no, I've never seen pictures of him. I don't know what he looks like, nothing. And he's just like, man, you described him to a T. And the thing was, he won. He absolutely loved that stereo. so much to the point that he told my dad that if he didn't ever want it, he would take care of it, he would keep it, that sort of deal. And then the other thing was, if he ever had a son, that he would always be there for him.
Holy fuck. So he had emotionally attached to him to stay in that fucking realm. It kind of worked out like a Dybbuk box, right? Where it holds the fucking essence of the person that was attached to it, right? Kind of. It was almost. It wasn't Maleficent though.
I like, was he there because of me? Or was he there because of this stereo? And the thing was, like, that was the only like that, the full body apparition that I had there,
Yeah.
and I can't explain it. And I can still recall seeing it in my head. Like, that memory is one of those memories that it will not fade, it will not go away.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Yes.
As now as it was then.
Yeah, I know that fucking feeling. I also know the fucking feeling where you tell your friends and they look at you like, dog, you're a fucking cokehead, bro. Look at you, dude. You're not, you're a fucking liar. And I'm like, dude, I fucking swear, dude. Like, I know that feeling too. And I also know the feeling where people look at you and they tell you like, yeah, you saw it. And I know you did because I've seen them too. So it's like, you meet all types of people when you're talking about this type of shit. And then some people put you down, some people, only you and only your conscious, only your vibrational frequency, only you could really fucking like retell that story and visualize that shit. But I have a question for you, bro. Now, moving forward, couple fucking years up in the road, what was one of the biggest and strongest interactions you had while you were investigating the paranormal? Because I know you told me you took Chef from Sunday Night Secret Societies on one of your trips, but I want to know, and I know you did the Bigfoot stuff too, but right before we do the Bigfoot, what was one of your strongest operations or strongest, experiences that you had while you had this, adventure?
Dude, it's easy, hands down. I have never had anything like this happen at any place. Dude, I've lived in haunted places. I have, dude, and it's crazy because I sit there and think about it, like, my parents' house, my parents' current house. For years, we had crazy paranormal shit happen there all the freaking time, all the time, but never anything like this one in particular. But I was at a location where something had moved on its own with a very violent force.
Okay.
I mean, I'm talking with some strength. So it was when I was with a paranormal investigation group out of my hometown of Wabash, Indiana. The group was called GIG, GHIG, Ghost Hunters Investigation Group. And hopefully I'm supposed to have from the group come on to the podcast sometime, so we kind of sit down and talk about some different stories and stuff. So I look forward to doing that in the future. But we were at this house, we were investigating it. There was claims that this child didn't want to sleep in their bedroom. They were very, very uneased, and they were also smelling something that was very decaying, very putrid, dirt, just
the usual stuff,
rotting. Yeah, nothing good, dude, nothing good. So we went there during the daytime, and we were like we were recording. We had our K2 meters checking, the EMF levels, this and that. And this room was a very clean kids room. There was nothing in there that we can think of like why this kid wouldn't want to be in his room. Like, this kid had an awesome freaking bedroom, like, hands down. Like, any kid would have absolutely loved being in there. But he didn't want to. So, okay, so what the heck? So we got weird EMF spikes that seemed to kind of jump all across the room. And eventually we just kind of like did the following game, followed it completely out down the hall to the master bedroom. And it went around one of those big vanity mirrors, like the old school ones that would like tilt. Once it got over to there, it just kind of like phased out, disappeared. We couldn't track it anymore. We couldn't figure out, where the anomaly.
To the mirror.
At this point, we're just like, right. So like, we're like, okay, well, we'll it's time to go back downstairs. We'll gather around, kind of just figure out what's going on. And the whole group is sitting in a dining room at the bottom of the staircase, just off of that through the archway. And I'm leaning up against the archway. So just like directly behind me and to the right is where the stair set is. And we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden we hear a bang. I mean, I'm talking like a bang, like somebody slammed a door so fucking hard. Like they were pissed. Like you would have thought like somebody, you would have thought they were coming in like, it's John Cena, like some WWE, someone just like smashed through a door. And I dude, it was so loud that I jumped. Like I was just kind of like, oh shit. Like I was like, I ducked. And everybody kind of turns and looks at me because I'm the closest person to where the sound comes from. And they're like, what door was that? And so I kind of got to lean back and I turned and I looked.
I'm getting fucking chills, dog. I'm getting fucking chills, dog. Wait, hold the fuck up. Time out.
So guess what door it was?
Which one? Wait. This episode is brought to you by the Grimmbowski podcast. Make sure you check them out on all podcast platforms. Going back to the staircase. Let me rewind. I gotta cut the tens, whatever. Holy shit. It's very rare when this shit happens to me. I was just visualizing the shit out of this. I'm talking about brown walls, creaky floors, wooden hoard, old school house, 2 stories, maybe 3. There's a dark attic. It looks very Victorian. I'm over here looking at there's trees outside, windy fucking shit. It looks like fall every single part of every single day of the I mean, I'm talking about the whole fucking 9 yards movie thriller shit, bro. Woo! Okay. The shit slams hard like somebody just broke through a fucking wall. It's so hardcore, it shakes you up. Everybody's sitting, you're leaning against the fucking arc. Right behind you to the right, there's a staircase. The main staircase, if that. And then something smacks. Boom! All right. Follow through. What happened? What door was it?
It was that kid's bedroom door.
Get the fuck out, dog. What's the kid say though?
Completely shut.
What did the kid say though? Like what was he experiencing in that room?
Well, the kid was only 3 years old, so it's like we couldn't really we couldn't talk to him.
Oh my God. Yeah, and the kid's veil. Now, God forbid, God bless our children, God bless every single person that's out here listening to this shit. Kids, there's a saying in Spanish. We like to say, el niño y el borracho siempre dice la verdad. What that means is a drunk person and every child always will speak with the truth. And I could say this, and I could fucking testify to this. When a kid tells you there's something going on or they're playing with someone, it's not just their imagination. Do not fucking throw it under the rug. It's not. This is something that's really happening. And believe it or not, we're also creation. We are creators, and we are manifestationists, whatever you want to call it. And we also can create anything out of fucking thin air into matter. And we put it to our fucking psyche, and we put our fucking vibrational frequencies, and we put our energetic power into it. We can make things come into reality and manifest that shit, and then it will come true. It's like it materializes right in front of you. I'm not talking about, think about a fucking $100 million check and it's going to come down. No, I'm not thinking about some stupid shit. I mean, it has to do a lot with intent. A lot with the intent for these kids is, these kids just want to fucking play, and they want to imagine themselves a fucking like a boy with a shark head to play with them forever, and then it starts manifesting because the intent was, create a fucking imaginary friend. But what happens a lot of the times is these are outlets, kind of like AI. These are outlets for evil entities to take possession of, and then they manifest themselves, and they start fucking being maleficent, and it starts taking over not only the kid's imagination, but it starts materializing in the fucking walls, into fucking paranormal activity. This is fucking wild. Continue the story, dude. I'm so sorry, bro.
Dude, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. But I mean, yeah, that was pretty much it. We had a couple people like in the group that were like mediums and stuff like that. We came down to the conclusion that at some point in time there was a man that lived in this household, and or no, he didn't live in the household. He had a family member that lived in this household. And he had died elsewhere, but he was trying to come back to wherever the family had previously lived, which was this location, and that family no longer lived there. So when he came there and realized that this family no longer was there and this other family was, The only person in the home that would be susceptible to, you know, his types of attacks was, you know, obviously a child.
Yeah.
So, you know, the child's getting affected because the parents, they're, you know, they weren't really like freaked out by it. They're like, okay, this is weird, this is definitely going on, you know, we believe in this stuff, but we're not afraid, like you're not going to, you know, do anything to be able to harm us. But obviously, you know, they, especially that age, you know, again, they're more susceptible to those things, they see those things. You know, my oldest daughter, for years, like she would sit there and report seeing figures walking around outside of my parents' house at night.
Oh God, get out.
You know, and like all like she would even like draw them, you know, like would sit there at the kitchen table with my dad and sit there and draw them. Like she has no idea that I even know this information because she never told me. But she you know, she told her papa, and then he's the one that tells me. So like now I'm just like, okay, yeah, I get to find out from him telling me, he's like, you know, don't tell her that, you know, that you know this and stuff, but I think there's something going on. And then he starts telling me and starts showing me these pictures and stuff, and it's just like, it's wild, dude. It's wild.
Wait, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know now? I'm trying to like fast forward. Oh God, I'm trying to connect dots here. Has your anybody that you know of your previous 3 generations back that has been paranormally activated a victim or has made other people victims by doing like dirty shit? Like I'm talking about doing the Ouija board or playing some fucking dark magic shit.
I don't think so. Not that I know of. Not that I recall. I mean, you know, one side of the family was, you know, they're very Catholic, you know, very church going people. Like they, you know, you wouldn't seen that from anyone on that side of that family that I know of or anything. The other side really wasn't very religious. You know, but like if it was Christmas or Easter, they'd go on that Sunday, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
But like I don't think that anybody would have.
Have you played with the Ouija board? Have you experimented with any type of like stuff? Holy shit, dog.
I Ouija board, but I've never used it.
What do you mean?
I mean, I have a Ouija board, and it's in the trunk of my car currently. It was one of those Hasbro Ouija boards and stuff. I got it for like $15 off of Amazon or something years ago. But I've always just kind of used it as it's cool, creepy decor to kind of put it around. But like, I never will keep that and the plain shit next to each other. Like they always have to be separated, just because even if they are just kind of like close, I still don't want that to be close enough to activate anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, you know, I for a while was, you know, and I kind of do believe in a lot of, you know, pagan different things. You know, a lot of people would say witchcraft kind of stuff. You know, I've done spell jars and different things and stuff. And
what is that? A spell jar? Explain that to me.
Okay, so a spell jar. Say there was something that you were kind of wanting. Let's take. Okay, let's just say money. We'll just go with that one. That one's, you know, kind of one that a lot of people like to
a universal one. Yeah.
And yes, and I can say that also from my own experience doing one for that specific purpose, it did work, and I did have very good results after doing it, which is kind of crazy. Again, initially, intent is everything. If you go into something with negative intent, with selfish intent, with these things that, you know, you're not trying to do anything positive with it, then you're probably not going to have that positive outcome. But if like you have a really good intent for whatever you're trying to do, you know, say like, you know, it is for money, but it's because like you want to have that money to, you know, support your family. You want to do something for them, not because like you're trying to get a new flat screen TV. You know, it's like it's not because like you're trying to get stacks in the bank, bro. You know, it's not like that shit. So like doing one of those for something good. And you would start to get your jar in different spells. I mean, you can go online. A lot of people have different stuff, but basically you're going to just be adding different things. There's going to be some type of you know phrase that you're going to have to recite 3 times or so, like, and sometimes under like a full moon, for added kind of like energetic effects and stuff like that. But like I said, I have done one before, and the result was a pretty big influx of money started coming in, just like out of nowhere. Was not expecting it, was not planning on any of it whatsoever, but then all of a sudden it was just like boom, a few thousand here, boom, a few
What were
thousand
the side
there, boom, a
effects?
thousand there.
Were there any side effects?
No, honestly, not that I could think of. So like this one in particular, this spell jar involved having a silver coin, like moon water, and I can't remember what else, but like you had to leave the coin in the water, and like you couldn't remove the water. You had to let the water evaporate on its own. And once the water had evaporated, then remove the coin out of it. But you wouldn't be able to use the coin again to redo the process all over again. Basically, like once like that water had evaporated, that it was kind of like nullified.
Okay. So then you close that gap, and then you fucking manifested some shit. Wow. I this is there's a very thin line that I will never cross, because first, because fear, obviously fear of like losing losing a loved one, or having something enter my house and then provoke damnation upon 2 generations after I'm dead within my bloodline.
Right.
And the other one is respect, bro. I know there's a lot of things that are in the supernatural realm that need to be, first of all, respected. Because if you start fucking with it, disrespecting it, and not really having that intent for positivity, you'll get yourself into a heap of trouble, and then you're just fucking stuck in this tornado fuckery. Dude, I'll be honest with you. I would love to share on another episode. I would love to share what happened to me with that fucking that elf. I have never seen him again. Never seen this motherfucker again. And I know that elves are cryptids and in their multidimensional fucking beings, and a lot of people say, oh, they don't exist and shit. Just like fucking Bigfoot. Right before we close, I want you to close that with that story, the Bigfoot story, because it is fucking huge for me. What happened? What the fuck? Did you see a Bigfoot? I have this thing thinking Bigfoots are multidimensional, ultra-dimensional, multidimensional beings that could just walk. And whenever they want to disappear, there's slits, like little fucking like shades of little, like a fucking curtain shade, right? Shade curtain, whatever it's called. And they just flip it. They flip the switch with using their mentality, their psyche, and they'll fucking just slit through the little fucking dimension, and they'll disappear, and they'll leave the tracks right there where they disappeared, and we won't be ever to fucking see us. While he can see us kind of like through a fucking those one-way mirrors where people can see through you. He could see us, but we can't see them, and he completely disappeared to another fucking dimension. And I feel like that's what they live. That's how they are. They're fucking multidimensional fucking aliens. But what happened? What did you fucking see? What did you witness?
Okay, so again, I was young. I would say like I was again 16. So the same time frame, the same year that I had this full body apparition in my freaking room.
Come on, dog.
I have this happen as well. And the thing was, we were at a haunted location. Like, so the town that I currently live in is only like 5 minutes from where I had this encounter. Yeah. It's really, really close to me currently. And but for everybody else, like it was La Fountain is just like 11 miles, maybe not even that. I think it's like maybe 6 miles down the road from Wabash where we live. But out here was where the Battle of 1812 took place. So the old battlegrounds and stuff is pretty much like all through this area. There's a whole lot of haunted history and things out here. So like one of the things that you did as a kid, like you went out to these places to try to find ghost stuff, and that's what we were doing. And we went out there, and like it was me and like a bunch of people, and I had a little 97 Chevy S10 pickup truck, a regular size cab. I
Oh
had like
yeah.
6 or 7 people deep
Yeah.
in the bed of it. And my girlfriend's brother, he was in there. When we were, like I said, like we were kids, like we were teenagers, and it was just me and him in the front, and we're just kind of driving down, and it's nighttime, and I'm kind of looking down. We're doing like engine idle, so like not even 5 miles an hour, bro. Like we're just creeping, cruising. Everybody's in the back. They
Yeah.
got like big flashlights that they're shining around side to side and
I
everything,
hear
kind of
you. Yeah.
looking around, and nobody is kind of like facing like looking person that's looking forward. Everybody else is off looking to the sides into the woods. So all of a
Ah.
sudden this thing, this humanoid, 2 feet, step out from the side and take like one step into the middle of the road, turns, looks at me, steps back, and takes one step again back off the road and into the woods. And at this point, I'm getting the ever living fuck out, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck was that? I'm screaming. I'm like, dude, what the fuck was that? And I'm rolling the windows up because like it's crank windows on my
Yeah.
truck and
Yeah.
everything. So, and I didn't have AC. It's
Dude, when you're rolling
summertime,
the
and
windows up, put your boys right in the back.
yeah, locking the doors. My buddy's just like, bro, what's going on, man? What's going on? I'm just like, dude, did you not see that? And he was like, no. And I was like, dude, something just walked out of the woods, man. And he was like, dude, what? No way. And I was like, yeah, dude, I have no idea what that was. So the thing was, like I said, yes, it was bipedal, but there was no way that this was just somebody that was out there. Yeah, people like go out there and they fish and stuff all the time, but this was no regular ass dude. If this was a regular ass person, this person needed to be in the NBA because they were so freaking tall.
Yeah.
I'm talking like
Yeah.
it looked at least 7 to 8 feet high in height,
Yeah.
in a solid color of brown. And that was the other thing. There was
How
no
many
there
people
was
were
no
with you?
like I said, so my buddy's in the cab with me, so that's one, and then either 6 or 7 in the bed of
Uh-huh.
the truck. So
Mm.
I would say between 6 to 8 people plus myself.
You know, there's there's a book called Secret Societies by, I forgot her name. It's a female author, last name Silva. Look it up. You'll find it if you look it up. Just Secret Societies by Silva. Just put that on the search board and you'll find it. In one of the chapters, one of the very first books I read about secret societies and like, fucking conspiracy theories. And she's talking about how she was in the middle of the woods, again, in areas where battles happen, very historical value people, where there's a lot of energetic, a lot of energies fucking, hidden, and palpitations of like magnetic frequencies and shit. And she was a medium as well. She's a medium author, doctor, PhD, whatever. And she takes a bunch of other mediums to the woods, and it's very foggy. So there's mist in the air. There's that light mist that just fucking floats in the air. It's not going anywhere. It's just there. So it's just very subtle play. It's very quiet. And it's in the middle of the night. It's the witching hour. And then they all start manifesting using their energetic field with the amplification of the wet ground, and the wetness of the fucking fog, feet touching the earth, and their hearts are pumping at the same time, and their fucking minds are at the same time, and their intention is at the same place in the same area, and they were able to manifest a fucking Bigfoot right in front of them, and then it vanished right in front of them. So you have a group of people in your fucking truck all looking for one thing, trying to find something at the same time during the middle of the fucking night. You guys manifested that Bigfoot and you were the one to witness it, dog. This is huge, bro. It just proves the same thing over. What the fuck? Trip out, dog.
I didn't even think about it like that, in all honesty, because that makes so much sense. I mean, it really truly does, because yeah, like if you're all kind of focusing all towards that one thing, and then yeah, like something's gonna manifest. But dude, like there was no clothing. There was nothing that made me think that this just a human being, and it was just like there was no just facial features, because I'm like, dude, if anyone has ever been like out like on a football field and stuff, and it's like I wasn't even 100 yards. I would say that I was anywhere between 70 to 60 yards.
Okay.
Even at that far, you can still make out facial features.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have a line of people standing there, and you would know who is who standing in front of you. At that far. So like there was nothing. It was just everything was just brown. But the other thing that was kind of weird was it wasn't like the typical sightings where it seems like Bigfoot is very kind of like muscular and bulky, and this was slender and the kind of like very lanky looking, and I thought that was kind of weird. So it was I didn't think that that's what I saw. I didn't think that I saw Bigfoot. I just know that I had saw something that walked out of these woods and it was super freaking weird. Okay, so fast forward again. Here we are. I'm in gig. We had a thing that we would do as the group, and we'd sell these tickets for an event that we called Dining with Ghosts. So you could buy tickets, you would come, you'd get a catered meal, and then you'd get to go on a paranormal investigation with the group.
Big stuff.
Which was super cool. And then while you were eating your catered food, we would usually have guest speakers come in and talk about something. One of them being a local historian by the name of Ron Woodward, who I'm trying to also get onto the show over some of like the lore and history of like this area and where we, because there's so many crazy things like just like paranormal stuff like around here that just like we could talk all day.
Send me his name when you can. I'll reach out to him too and see if we could get him on the show. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I how to get in touch with him actually. Like I have his phone number and stuff like that. I'm trying to I just haven't had the time to set it up, but dude, I can definitely pass that along to you.
Word, thank you.
But so he is at this and he is doing this this presentation talking about like the different folklore of Wabash County and all this kind of stuff, and then he starts talking about, well, did you know that there's also been Bigfoot sightings in these areas? And I was just like, at this point, I've never heard this, been talked about before. So wait, what? And so I'm really listening now. And then like he starts talking since like as far back as like the 60s, there has been newspaper articles, there has been, reports, police reports and stuff made of people throughout Wabash County between the Mississinawa Reservoir and the Salamone Reservoir having Bigfoot sightings. People are saying that they are seeing Bigfoot and they are seeing this very tall bipedal creature that is all brown and everything. And it wasn't until this point where I was like, oh my God, I saw Bigfoot. That's what I saw. I am literally smack dab in between both of those reservoirs. Plus, I'm in an area that has unknown amount of just residual energy from the mass amount of people who have died in these fields back in 1812 and stuff. Like, dude, this is like it's a paranormal hotspot, dude. It's just like a freaking bed of it.
An A, dude. Wow, dog. You have to tell the listeners where they can fucking find you so they could get more of these fucking stories, bro. Look, dog, to be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to go this good. I didn't know what to expect, bro. I got chills. I was all sucked into it. Like, I know, because I could relate to this shit, bro. It's fucking wicked. I love it. Yo, make sure you let the people know where they can fucking find you, bro. Closing out.
The Big Grimmbowski podcast, you can find me where all the places are. There's a link tree where the man said that you can find that in the bio. Hit that up, and hey, I'm somebody that I like to talk to people. I like to meet new people, so I'm all ears. Come talk to me, interact with me, give me suggestions for different stuff that you want to hear on the show yourself. Whatever, hit me up. The Big Grimmbowski.
The Big Grimmbowski. I was been fucking chopping that shit up the entire time. The Big Grimmbowski podcast. Make sure you check them out. And you can also find them on Paranoid Radio Podcast on paranoidradio.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning back in. I want to leave with this. Check this out. I have a friend that has a tattoo shop in Virginia. All right, bro. Somebody died there. There was a couple murders in that fucking place before he bought the fucking tattoo shop. Now it's his. It's own it. Right. Check this out. He has to bring donuts on a daily basis, put them in the attic, which is now the lunch room, break room / people where people eat. The rest of his fucking tattoo artists. He has to put donuts in there at 6 a.m. exactly. And this is because he told me a storyline of how all this shit happens. Post era, when now it's happening, he brings donuts and puts it on the table and he tells, yo, you can help yourself. Then he walks out of the fucking place. And if he doesn't bring the donuts and he doesn't tell the ghost to help himself, shit starts going off. The machine stop not working. People don't come through the door. People start getting chills. People start fucking feeling like they're getting scratches and shit. Like, it's fucking wicked.
Dude, what?
Yeah. Hashtag dog. I gotta talk to this boy too. I'll put you guys together, see if I can get connected. You guys can connect and share some stories on your shit. It's amazing stuff, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Not forget to drop a 5. Yeah. Do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, it allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Make sure you check us out on Paranormal Radio Podcast and the big Grimmbowski podcast on all podcast platforms. Peace out.
Paranoid Radio.